Hi friends and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello. My name's George Agenbar and I'm a UK music producer. Today's video is about vocal double tracking. Vocal doubles can make a huge difference to the feel and performance of an artist. They can transform a thin vocal into a strong, thick and powerful one. So if you want to learn how to do this, make sure you stay tuned and hit the subscribe button and notification bell for new videos every Wednesday.
And things will never be the same when I hear your name since you kissed me in the rain.
Vocal doubles are also referred to as double tracking or overdubs. Essentially, they are one or more copies of the main vocal line, used to add substance, complexity and consistency to the sound. They can be used throughout the song or just at certain points like the chorus to add emphasis. Today we're going to be talking about how to achieve a great vocal double. And this can be either using multiple recordings, or real vocal doubles, or processing a single vocal take for a similar effect, which is what I'll call an artificial vocal double. Real double tracking is achieved in the studio by getting the artist to sing the same parts over and over again. It is often the best method for achieving the richness and complexity we desire. However, there can be problems with some singers. The best time to record vocal doubles is immediately after we've achieved a main vocal that we're happy with. The reason we do this immediately after is because it maximises our chances of having a consistent mic position, room ambience, energy and vocal tone in the singer. When we're recording vocal doubles, our aim is slightly different to when we're recording a main vocal for comping purposes, and this point is crucial to understanding everything else. A vocal double should be subtly different in terms of pitch and delivery, but pretty spot on in terms of timings with the main vocal. An experienced singer will understand this. However, when we're working with less experienced artists, there are tips and tricks that we can use to maximise our chances of getting a perfect recording, and we'll go through each of these individually. Paradoxically, the better the singer, the worse the problem can be. A vocal double should have subtle pitch variations, and so there are things that we can do to nudge the perfect singer in the right direction, and this is all to do with what headphone mix we give them whilst they're recording. If we have the headphone mix being slightly louder, the singer will be more inclined to sing a bit sharper, and if it's slightly quieter, it'll flatten the singer. We can also pitch shift the headphone mix by a couple of degrees in each direction, which will achieve the same effect. If we have a less perfect singer, as is more often the case, then most of the work is performed in processing. The key to pitch correction on double tracks is not to be overly aggressive. Slight variations in pitch can make the vocal shimmer and sound thicker. If we're too aggressive, then all the tracks tend to merge together. The way we emphasise certain parts of the vocal is called the delivery. Delivery is especially affected by the sibilant, plosive and consonant sounds, the high energy parts of the signal. Because they are loud, they tend to stick out in the mix and can make combined vocals sound messy. But there are a few things we can do to avoid this. We can use the pop shield when recording to reduce plosives. We can alter the mic position to reduce sibilants, and I've made a video all about this, and I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can go and check that out. And we can also ask our singer to soften the consonant sounds when they sing. So for example, if I sang the word without, I can soften the consonant at the end. So if I sang it normally, it would sound without. And if I softened the consonant, it would sound without. Processing involves using a combination of techniques to get rid of these problem areas. And again, I've made a video all about this, which I'll link to in the description. And so for pitch and delivery, we're aiming for variation, but the same is definitely not true for timing. Timing needs to be tight. If the timing is off, the vocals will sound messy instead of strong and powerful. To try and get this timing right, we can make sure that our singer has the comped or best vocal take going into their headphone mix whilst they're recording. But there is also processing that we can do. In terms of processing, we can align words or phrases by simply cutting up sections of the vocal double and matching them to the main vocal. We can also add fades in between cuts if we want. But in reality, the doubles are so low down in the mix that it's not too noticeable if they sound slightly disjointed. It's going to be far more noticeable if the doubles are out of time. We can also use tools that stretch audio, such as flex time, to fix timings. This is how you use it. You load up Flex and it should automatically be on the tool Flex Time Monophonic. If not, you just select this from the drop-down menu. We then click at certain points of the wave to set the boundary for the time adjustment. We can then drag these boundaries, and as you can see, the timing of the waveform changes. There are also some plugins available that do this job for us, such as Vocaline, but they aren't always 100% accurate. Here's the double and the main vocal without the timing altered.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with the timing altered.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
As you can hear, the vocal sounds a lot better and thicker with the altered timings. So that's how we track vocal doubles in the studio. Knowing these techniques will help us achieve the best from our artist on the day and save us extra effort down the line. But in the real world, we're usually sent a single, thin-sounding vocal track. There are several different processing techniques we can use to create doubles, and these are called artificial vocal doubles. Artificial double tracking was developed in 1966 at Abbey Road Studios in response to John Lennon's dislike for recording real vocal doubles. The original was a tape delay, which was later combined with pitch modulation. Nowadays, there are many ADT plugins that achieve a similar effect. For example, Waves has a plugin called Real ADT, which was actually developed in association with Abbey Road Studios. However, the ethos of this channel is to produce similar results using only stock plugins as far as is possible. We will discuss different techniques for achieving artificial doubles. Some of these are more simple, such as overlaying different segments or using stereo delays. Others use slightly more complicated techniques or a degree of manual editing. And so we'll go through each of these in turn with examples. Throughout most songs, there are likely to be repeated sections, like choruses. We can use these takes from different choruses to create slightly different vocal doubles. This is really quick and easy to do, however it does run the risk of sounding messy, but we can fix that using careful manual editing. So in this project I'm going to create a new track to put my double on. I'm then going to cut out the first chorus of the main vocal and copy and paste it into my new track. I'll then drag this chorus to where the second chorus of the song is. Now I've effectively created a vocal double for the second chorus of the song, and I can repeat this process for the other choruses. Here's the track without the copy and pasted double.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
It does sound slightly messy, but as I said, we can edit this as we would a real vocal double. I like this technique, but you have to bear in mind that this isn't the best solution we have, as it only works for the repeated sections in the song. This technique uses a single vocal part to create a double. It's very simple and quick to do. All we need to do is apply a short slapback delay to the vocal at 80 to 120 milliseconds with a single repeat. You set the single repeat using the feedback dial. The level of the delay signal can be set using the wet signal fader. This will decide how clearly you can hear the double. So here's the track without the slapback delay.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
and here it is with.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
I think for how quick and easy this technique is, it works great, but I don't think that it gives us the most authentic sounding vocal double. This technique again can make the vocal sound thicker without doubling the track. A slight delay between the two sides creates a second vocal track. Again, this is fairly simple and quick to do. I've sent the main vocal to a bus, put a stereo delay on the bus with 60 milliseconds on one side and 80 milliseconds on the other side. I've set the feedback to 10 to 15% to get the single repeat. I've cut out the highs and lows of the vocal using filters to keep the track sounding tight, and I'm making sure that in this bus we're hearing 100% wet signal. I'll then blend this back in with the original vocal track. Here's the track without stereo delay.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
I think this does make our vocals sound a lot thicker, but again is still lacking that authentic vocal double sound that we get from real vocal doubles. This technique uses a slight time delay and slow pitch changes to imitate the natural pitch variation of a singer. So we set a simple delay on the vocal, much like we did with the slapback delay, and then we load up a pitch modulator. I've chosen to use a flanger. We want to set this to relatively slow so that it will only change the pitch of the delayed signal, not our original vocal. The parameter settings for the flanger are completely dependent upon your vocal. So here's the track without these plugins.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
It does work and does sound like we have two vocal tracks, but personally I think that the flanger gives a slightly odd tone to the vocal, so I would rather use another technique myself. This method involves pitch shifting duplicate tracks and introducing some delay variations. It avoids the cycling effect that can be produced by pitch modulation and so can sound more natural. So I'm going to create two copies of my main vocal. I'm going to click the toolbar button so that I can delay my copied tracks slightly. This is done using the nudge button. As you can see, mine is set to 10 milliseconds. I want to delay one track by 20 milliseconds, so I click the right arrow twice. I want to nudge the other by 30 milliseconds, so I click the arrow 3 times. It's as simple as that. I'm then going to use the pitch shifter plugin. I want to set the mix to 100% so that all of the copied track is being pitch shifted. I turn the semitones down to 0 as that is too much of a change in pitch. I pay attention to the cent dial as these are much smaller pitch intervals. On one of the copies I'm going to pitch shift by 10 and on the other by -10. This should give us enough pitch variation. So here's just the main vocal.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with the two delayed and pitch shifted doubles.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
I think that this technique is the most effective so far, and it's still very quick and easy to do. The automatic ADT plugins will often work by creating multiple tracks with small changes in pitch and timing. We can do this manually, but it just takes a little bit longer. First, we make a copy of our main vocal on a separate track. We then delay this track by 20 to 40 milliseconds. We then want to pitch correct it quite tightly, but this is where we have to be careful. We don't want to pitch correct it so tightly that it's identical to our main vocal, as this can cause phasing issues. We can pitch correct either using an auto-tuner plugin or software like Flex Pitch. Personally, I would rather use Flex Pitch, as even though it takes a bit longer, it gives me a lot more control. So here's the main vocal alone.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
And here it is with our emulated double.
I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet. I feel so weak, I can't sleep. I hear your voice in everyone I meet.
I think that this is certainly the best, most authentic sounding double. It does take the longest to create, and if you have time constraints, may not be the most suitable technique, but I think it gets the best results personally. Any processing that we do to create vocal doubles may push our main vocal back in the mix. We just need to be aware of this and keep in mind that we may need to go back and revisit our processing on our main vocal. It's also so important to remember to use our ears and not our eyes. Whilst the double we're creating may not look perfect, it's important for our double to have variations, to have flaws. It's the whole point of them. At the end of the day, it's always going to be more ideal to have a real vocal double. It ensures that we have an authentic performance instead of having to emulate one. But it's good to know that it's not the end of the world if we don't have one. We can get good results from artificial double tracking. Vocal doubles are one aspect of thickening a voice in a mix. They can add power and complexity and also help vocals sit in the mix. There are other techniques that we can use to do this, some of which are going to be covered in next week's video. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Let me know what you thought in the comments below and if there are any other videos you'd like to see in the future. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and notification bell for new videos every Wednesday, and I will see you again soon.